George Kittle and the 49ers agreed to a 5-year, $75 million extension, making him the highest paid tight end in NFL history. And then just a few hours later, Travis Kelce agreed to a 4-year extension with Kansas City worth a little over $57 million. Richard Sherman reacted to the Kittle news by tweeting, "Well-deserved, best in the business." I don't think there's any question of that. Jeremy Fowler had the reporting on all this. Jeremy, what's been the reaction around the league to these two guys getting these huge deals?
Well, Greeny, sources I talked to are just relieved that money is being spent and players are getting paid. It's been a very slow 4 to 5 months due to COVID-19, so it's a good sign for the health of the league. And several execs I spoke to are very intrigued by what the Chiefs are doing. A couple months ago, they had about $1 million in salary cap space. Since then, they've re-signed Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, Patrick Mahomes. And so they've done so by selling championship dreams. Hey, let's get the band back together. Let's give this runs for 4, 5, 6 years and go chase world championships. And in the case of Kelce, said, hey, maybe take a backloaded deal, a longer-term deal that gives us flexibility on the salary cap. And when Patrick Mahomes is already doing so, other guys follow suit.
You know, there's a lot of people out there I heard from saying that as much as Kittle got, and by tight end standard it was huge, that he is still underpaid given everything he means to that team. Did you hear that from people inside the business?
Yes, a source said that Kittle privately feels that way. His camp feels that way because they went into this process saying he is an elite playmaker regardless of position. And wide receivers, good ones, make $18 to $20 million a year. So that was the initial aim. The 49ers were never going to go that far because it's a pandemic and the tight end market is suppressed. Guys are only making about $10 million per year. So Kittle did his very best by going after guarantees. He got $40 million in guarantees, $30 million up front, $15 million per year. That's pretty good money in these very uncertain times, so both parties are happy.
Yes, Jerry Jones told me, it's not a stable time to be making generational money kind of decisions. Well done, Jeremy. Thank you very much. And let me just put some numbers up there. While Kittle's extension is the most ever for a tight end, he's a bargain when compared to wide receivers. He would be 10th in guaranteed money and 11th in average per year. And so as I bring the rest of my crew back in here, Kimberly, if I were to say to you that George Kittle is tremendously underpaid relative to what he means, and that he actually should have gotten MVP consideration last year, would you tell me that I'm overstating it?
I think he is the MVP of the 49ers. I think what he's able to do, the guy is an assault on the senses. He's this crazy cyborg, part offensive lineman, part running back, part wide receiver. I think it's criminal that he's making less money per year than some wide receivers in the NFL because he does so much. And the guy, he wants to destroy you in pass pro just as much as he wants to bowl you over just to add more yaks to his stats. Like, the guy has such infectious energy, and people are going to bring up 5 touchdowns last year. I'm not trying to hear it, because what makes Kittle so good is that he affects the game everywhere on the field, and it doesn't always show up in the stat box.
MVP is a quarterback's award. If you extend it beyond the quarterbacks, last year we talked about Michael Thomas, we talked about Christian McCaffrey. Someone should have brought this guy up because they were basically the best team in the NFC from week 1 all the way to the end, Neek, and he is by far their most important player. Why are you shaking your head at me?
They were the best team because of that defense. Like, let's look at Nick Bosa. Look at Richard Sherman. The season he had. You want to talk about an MVP of a team, you talk about the defense because that's what carried them. And to be honest, I love Kittle. He's great. He's the most important player on that offense. But you know what that offense was for the first 7 weeks of the season? They were mediocre. They were 16th by EPA. You know what happened? They went and traded for Emmanuel Sanders, a big play receiver, and then they jumped to 6 for the second half of the season, to 6 by efficiency by EPA. So he has a great impact. He deserves more money than he's getting. But MVP of that team, a defensive team that had 9 points the week before they signed Emmanuel Sanders and then scored 51 the following week. Like, it's hard for me to go to the distance and say that he's the MVP of the whole team.
Now, don't give me all these facts. I'm not interested in your facts. I'm making an emotional argument.
He's a hater.
He is a hater. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.